Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 20. And in the 42nd Yovel, in the first year of the 7th week, Abraham called Ishmael and his 12 sons, and Yitzhak and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Keturah and their sons. And he commanded them that they should observe the way of Yahweh, that they should work righteousness, and each love his neighbor, and act in this manner among all men, that they should each so walk with regard to them as to do right ruling and righteousness on the earth, that they should circumcise their sons according to the covenant which he had made with them, and not deviate to the right hand or the left of all the paths which Yahweh had commanded us, and that we should guard ourselves from all whoring and uncleanness. And if any woman or female servant commit whoring among you, burn her with fire, and let them not commit whoring with her after their eyes and their heart. And let them not take to themselves wives from the daughters of Canaan, for the seed of Canaan shall be rooted out of the land. And he told them of the judgment of the Rephaites, and the judgment of the Sodomites, how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on account of their whoring and uncleanness, and each one's corruption through whoring. And guard yourselves from all whoring and uncleanness, and from all pollution of sin, lest you make our name a curse, and your whole life a hissing. And all your sons be destroyed by the sword, and you become accursed like Sodom, and all your remnant as the sons of Amorah. I implore you, my sons, love the Elohim of the Shamayim, and you cling to all his commands, and do not walk after their idols and after their uncleannesses, and do not make for yourselves molded or carved mighty ones, for they are worthless, and there is no spirit in them, for they are work of hands, and all who trust in them trust in naught. Do not serve them, nor worship them. But you serve the Most High El, and worship him continually, and trust in his face always, and work uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you and grant you his kindness, and send rain upon you morning and evening, and barak all your works which you have wrought upon the earth, and barak your bread and your water, and barak the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, and the herds of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep. And you shall be for a berakah on the earth, and all nations of the earth shall desire you, and barak your sons in my name, that they may be baruch as I am. And he gave to Ishmael and to his sons, and to the sons of Keturah gifts, and sent them away from Yitzhak his son, and he gave all to Yitzhak his son. And Ishmael and his sons and the sons of Keturah and their sons went together and dwelt from Paran to the entering in of Babel, in all the land which is towards the east facing the desert. And these intermixed with each other, and their name was called Arabs and Ishmaelites. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 21. And in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Yovel, Abraham called Yitzhak his son, and commanded him, saying, I have become old, and do not know the day of my death, and am full of my days. And see, I am 175 years old, and throughout all the days of my life I have remembered Yahweh, and sought with all my heart to do his desire, and to walk uprightly in all his ways. My being has hated idols, that I might observe to do the desire of him who created me. For he is the living Elohim, and he is Kodesh and trustworthy, and he is righteous beyond all, and with him there is no partiality and no accepting of bribes. For Elohim is righteous, and executes right ruling on all those who transgress his commands and despise all his covenant. And you, my son, shall observe his commands and his laws and his right rulings, and do not walk after the abominations and after the carved images and after the molded images, and eat no blood at all of beasts or cattle or of any bird which flies in the Shamayim. And if you slaughter whatever as an acceptable peace offering, you slay it and pour out its blood upon the altar, and all the fat of the offering offer on the altar with fine flour mixed with oil, with its drink offering, Offer them all together on the altar of burnt offering. It is a sweet fragrance before Yahweh. And you shall offer the fat of the slaughtering of thanksgiving on the fire which is upon the altar, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver you shall remove together with the kidneys. And offer all these for a sweet fragrance acceptable before Yahweh, with its grain offering and with its drink offering, for a sweet fragrance, the bread of the offering to Yahweh. And eat its meat on that day, and on the 2nd day, and do not let the sun on the 2nd day go down on it till it is eaten, and let none be left over for the 3rd day, for it is not acceptable, and let it no longer be eaten. And all who eat of it shall bring sin upon themselves, for thus I have found it written in the books of my forefathers, and in the words of Henoch, and in the words of Noach. And you shall put salt on all your offerings, and do not let the salt of the covenant be lacking in all your offerings before Yahweh. And regarding the wood of the slaughterings, beware lest you bring wood for the altar in addition to these: cypress, dephron, sagad, pine, fir, cedar, juniper, palm, olive, myrrh, laurel, and citron, broom, and balsam. And of these kinds of wood put upon the altar under the offering, such as have been tried as to their appearance, and do not place any split or dark wood, hard and clean, without fault, a sound and new growth. And do not place old wood, for there is no longer fragrance in it as before. Besides these kinds of wood, there is none other that you shall place, for the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance does not ascend to the Shamayim. Observe this command, and do it, my son, that you may be upright in all your deeds. And at all times be clean in your body, and wash yourself with water before you approach to offer on the altar, and wash your hands and your feet before you draw near to the altar. And when you are done offering, wash your hands and your feet again, and let no blood appear upon you, nor on your clothes. Be on guard, my son, against blood. Be on your guard exceedingly. Cover it with dust. And do not eat any blood, for it is the life. Eat no blood whatsoever, and take no gifts for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impunity, without right ruling, for it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to sin, and the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of man, except by the blood of him who shed it. And take no bribe or gift for the blood of man, blood for blood, that you may be accepted before Yahweh, the Most High El, for he is the defense of the good, and that you may be preserved from all evil, and that he saves you from every kind of death. I see, my son, that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness, and all their deeds are uncleanness and an abomination and a defilement, and there is no righteousness with them. Beware lest you walk in their ways and tread in their paths, and sin a sin unto death before the Most High El. Else he shall give you back into the hands of your transgression, and root you out of the land, and your seed likewise from under the Shamayim, and your name and your seed shall perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the law of the Most High El, and do his desire, and be upright in all matters. And he shall barak you in all your deeds, and shall raise up from you the branch of righteousness through all the earth, throughout all generations of the earth. And my name and your name shall not be forgotten under the Shamayim forever. Go in peace, my son. May the Most High El, my Elohim, and your Elohim strengthen you to do his desire, and may he barak all your seed and the remnant of your seed for generations forever, with all righteous berakah, that you may be a berakah on all the earth. And he went out from him rejoicing. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 22. And it came to be in the 1st week, in the 44th Yovel, in the 2nd year, that is the year in which Abraham died, that Yitzhak and Yishmael came from Beersheba to celebrate the feast of Shavuot, That is the feast of the firstfruits of the harvest, to Abraham their father. And Abraham rejoiced because his 2 sons had come, for Yitzhak had many possessions in Beersheba, and Yitzhak used to go and see his possessions and to return to his father. And in those days Yishmael came to see his father, and they both came together. And Yitzhak offered a slaughtering for a burnt offering, and presented it on the altar of his father which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a slaughtering of thanksgiving, and made a feast of joy before Yishmael his brother. And Rivkah made new cakes from the new grain, and gave them to Yaakov her son, and to take them to Abraham his father, from the firstfruits of the land, that he might eat and berakah the Creator of all matters before he died. And Yitzhak too sent by the hand of Yaakov to Abraham a best slaughtering of thanksgiving, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank and berakah the Most High El, who has created the shamayim and earth, who has made all the fatness of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and berakah their Creator. And now I give thanks to you, my Elohim, because you have caused me to see this day. See, I am 175 years old, an old man and full of days, and all my days have been peace unto me. The sword of the adversary has not overcome me in all that you have given my children and I, all the days of my life until this day. My Elohim, may your kindness and your peace be upon your servant and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to you a chosen nation and an inheritance from among all the nations of the earth, from this time to forever, of the generations of the earth unto all the ages. And he called Yaakov and said, My son Yaakov, may the Elohim of all barak you and strengthen you to do righteousness and his desire before him, and may he choose you and your seed, that you become a people for his inheritance according to his desire always. And you, my son Yaakov, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him, and he said, Baruch be my son Yaakov, and all these sons of Elohim Most High unto all the ages. May Elohim give unto you a seed of righteousness, and some of your sons may he qadosh in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve you, and all the nations bow themselves before your seed. Be strong in the presence of men, and exercise authority over all the seed of Sheth. Then your ways and the ways of your sons shall be declared right, so that they shall become a Kodesh nation. May the Most High El give you all the barakot with which he has baraked me, and with which he baraked Noach and Adam. May they rest on the Kodesh head of your seed from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse you from all unrighteousness and impurity, that you may be forgiven all transgressions, your sins of ignorance. And may he strengthen you and barak you, and may you inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with you, that you may be to him a nation for his inheritance for all the ages, and that he may be to you and to your seed an Elohim in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And you, my son Yaakov, remember my words, and observe the commands of Abraham your father. Separate yourself from the nations, and do not eat with them, and do not do according to their works, and do not become their associate. For their works are unclean, and all their ways are defiled, and an abomination and uncleanness. They offer their offerings to the dead, and they worship evil spirits, and they eat over the graves, and all their works are worthless and emptiness. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are, and how they stray in saying to a piece of wood, You are my mighty one, and to a stone, You are my master, and you are my deliverer. And as for you, my son Yaakov, may the Most High El help you, and the Elohim of the Shamayim barak you, and remove you from their uncleanness and from all their strain. Beware, my son Yaakov, of taking a wife from any seed of the daughters of Canaan, for all his seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For, owing to the transgression of Ham, Canaan strayed, And all his seed shall be destroyed from off the earth, and all his remnant, and none springing from him shall be saved on the day of judgment. And as for all the worshippers of idols and the profane, there shall be no hope for them in the land of the living, and there shall be no remembrance of them on the earth. For they shall descend into the grave, and into the place of condemnation they shall go. As the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth, so shall all those who worship idols be taken away. Do not fear, my son Yaakov, and be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May the Most High El preserve you from destruction, and may he deliver you from all the paths of straying. This house I have built for myself, that I might put my name upon it in the earth, and it shall be named the house of Abraham. It is given to you and to your seed forever, for you shall build my house and establish my name before Elohim forever. Your seed and your name shall stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and to barak him, and the two lay together on one bed, and Yaakov slept in the bosom of Abraham, his father's father, and he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he barak him with all his heart, and said, The Most High El, the Elohim of all, and Creator of all, who brought me out from Kasdim, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a Kodesh seed, Baruch be the Most High forever. And he baraked Yaakov and said, My son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice, may your favor and your kindness be lifted up on him and upon his seed always. And do not forsake him, nor despise him from this time and forever. And may your eyes be open on him and upon his seed, that you may preserve him and barak him and may qadosh him as a nation for your inheritance. And barak him with all your berakah from this time and forever, and renew your covenant and your favor with him and with his seed, according to all your good pleasure unto all the generations of the earth. Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 23. And he placed 2 fingers of Yaakov on his eyes, and he baraked the Elohim of mighty ones, and he covered his face, and stretched out his feet, and slept the everlasting sleep, and was gathered to his fathers. And through all this Yaakov was lying in his bosom, and did not know that Abraham his father's father was dead. And Yaakov awoke from his sleep, and see, Abraham was cold as ice, and he said, Father, Father! But there was none that spoke, and he knew that he was dead. And he arose from his bosom, and ran, and told Rivkah his mother. And Rivkah went to Yitzhak in the night, and told him. And they went together, and Yaakov with them, and a lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Abraham lying dead. And Yitzhak fell on the face of his father, and wept, and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Abraham. And Ishmael his son arose, and went to Abraham his father, and wept over Abraham his father, he and all the house of Abraham, and they wept with a great weeping. And his sons Yitzhak and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, near Sarah his wife, and they wept for him 40 days, all the men of his house, and Yitzhak and Ishmael, and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places, and the days of weeping for Abraham were ended. And he lived 3 Yobelim, and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 Yobelim, but after the flood they began to grow less than 19 Yobelim, and to decrease in Yobelim, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of much tribulation and the wickedness of their ways, with the exception of Abraham. For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahweh, and well-pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And see, he did not complete 4 Yobelim in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was full of his days. And all the generations which shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment shall grow old quickly, before they complete 2 Yobelim, and their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age. And in those days, if a man lives a Yovel and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long. But the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity follows on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil words on evil words, and sickness on sickness, and all evil judgments such as these, one with another, sickness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice, and fever and chills, and languishing, and scarcity of food, and death, and sword, and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these shall come on an evil generation, which transgresses on the earth. Their works are uncleanness and whoring and pollution and abominations. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many to 1,000 years, and were good. But see, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 70 years, and if he is strong 80 years. And those evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation these sons shall convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickednesses which they do, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahweh made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commands and his laws and all his Torot, without departing either to the right or to the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks wickedness, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. See, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, and no oil, for their works are altogether unbelieving, and they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds, and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the needy with the prince, on account of the Torah and the covenant. For they have forgotten command, and covenant, and festivals, and new moons, and Shabbatot, and Yobelim, and all right rulings. And they shall stand with swords and battle to turn them back to the way. But they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. And those who have escaped shall not turn from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's. And they shall name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness. And they shall defile the most Kodesh place with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment shall come upon the deeds of this generation from Yahweh, and he shall give them over to the sword, and to judgment, and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he shall wake against them the sinners of the Gentiles, who have neither kindness nor compassion, and who shall respect the face of none, neither old nor young nor anyone, for they are more wicked and mighty to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Yisrael, and transgression against Yaakov, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud, and call, and pray, that they may be saved from the hand of these sinners, the Gentiles. But none shall be saved. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear old like a man of 100 years, and their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the laws, and to seek the commands, and to return to the way of righteousness. And the days shall begin to grow many, and increase among those children of men, till their days draw near to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than was their number of the days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is not satisfied with his days, for all shall be children and youths. And all their days they shall complete, and live in peace and in joy, and there shall be no adversary nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of berakah and healing. And at that time Yahweh shall heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones shall rest in the earth, and their spirits shall have much joy. And they shall know that it is Yahweh who executes right ruling, and shows kindness to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And you, Moshe, shall write down these words, for so they are written and recorded on the tablets of the Shamayim, for a witness for the generations forever.